Peace and power, family. Welcome back to Unto We Would Be. We are checking in again around the artist way. This is actually week 7, day 1, baby. And week 7 is recovering a sense of connection. And the first thing that Julia Cameron is talking about in this chapter is listening. And I thought this was so important because a large part of when you're moving through like spiritual practices and you're going through a healing journey, they tell you to get quiet, to get still, right? And to listen for what comes up. Listen to what your body, your mind, your spirit is telling you. Listen to your thoughts. Listen, listen, listen. And this is really what Julia Cameron was saying. She was like, God gives you ideas. God helps you create. He is, or they are, however you want to name it, the greatest creator. So when you are creating, you are really just putting out the ideas that God put into you, right? And she said something about the story already being written. You just got to write it down. And I was like, that's genius. That's key, right? Because God knows. God gave you this idea, right? And you are the person that is actually putting it down on paper, bringing it to life, getting it out of the ideation form and making it something real. So I think that that is so powerful that we have to, as creators, get quiet and get still so that we can hear the story that has already been written, so we can hear whatever it is that we've already been told, the information that we already have, the data that we already done put together in our minds that we know can come out a certain way. And all we got to do is put it out that way, you know? So I thought that was very powerful because sometimes I get caught up in like, I don't know what to say next. I don't know if this is making sense, but it's really not about that. Something else that came up was perfectionism. That was the second thing she talked about in the chapter. And perfectionism, she claimed it was not worrying about it being right. It was it was stopping yourself from moving forward. So perfectionism was not rooted in being right and being perfect and being correct. It was actually rooted in you not moving forward. You focusing so much on the details that you get lost and you can't actually move forward in the right direction, right? And I thought that was a super dope analogy because she right. Because once you start nitpicking, you actually aren't really worried about if the thing is perfect. You're worried about sharing it, about taking that next step, around about putting it forward. So hearing that perfectionism is rooted in stopping yourself from moving forward, I'm like, yes, that makes sense. It's a form of self-sabotage. It's a form of stopping yourself from actually putting things out and sharing what you got going on. So I'm like, this makes sense. This you snapping, Julia, you snapping. And thinking about perfectionism, the note I put on here was yes, getting lost in the details, but thinking about listening and how that is connected to perfectionism is you have to do first drafts. Like you have to make mistakes first before you can put out something exactly the way that you're imagining it, right? You have to at least get it out first. And a lot of the times, me specifically, I don't like first drafts. Matter of fact, my first draft is my last draft. I don't like editing. Like, I'm not going to go back and look over that poem that I just wrote and be like, oh, if I change this word and if I add this and if I make it sound like that, I'm like, no. The story came to my mind. I put it down on the paper and that's it. That's all. Right. But something stops me from actually sharing it. Something stops me from actually going back and reviewing it before a year, you know? And I really feel like that thing is that perfectionism, right? Knowing that if I go back, I am going to probably want to change something. I am going to want to nitpick and move things around and maybe switch the ending up because the ending is always the hardest part for me. How do you end this poem? How do you make it be done? You know, and something she said in the chapter was just like quoting somebody that paintings are never done, right? You just stop working on them. And I'm like, that is really how all art is. Like, you could make this story go on and on and on and on and on forever, but eventually you're gonna have to stop, baby, and write something else and do something else, right? You can't just keep going at it. So I think that what I want to work on is figuring out how I know I'm done. Like, how do I know that this has reached the point of completion, right? And I was talking about this with one of my clients yesterday, actually, around like, how do you know when you are actually putting out what you care about, or like you're editing it because you actually want to change it, or you're editing it because you're overthinking. And I'm like, you got to have a plan. You have to know your why. You got to know what you're trying to create, and you got to have instructions. Like, you got to know, I want it to look like this, sound like this, taste like this. I want it to feel like this. Okay. And then once you have those things, anything more than that, you was overthinking, you was overdoing it, you was running into the realm of perfectionism, that fear of moving forward, right? If you made the thing that you wanted to make, if it's aligned with your why you wanted to make it, and it follow all them instructions that you laid out as this is what I want to look like, be like, feel like, then you did the thing, right? And it's less about it being perfect and more about it being out, about it making an impact. It's about it being done, right? Because that greatest impact is you actually being able to finish the thing. You actually moving through the process, getting something out of your head onto paper and putting it out into the world. Like, that is what it's all about. It's not about the little details. It's not about the itty bitty pieces. It's not about that one word spelled wrong or one punctuation missing. It's not about that. It's about you actually moving something from your heart and out and putting it out into the world, right? The next thing she talked about was risk, right? Because it's scary. It is scary to take something from your heart and share it with the world and share it with people who you don't know, people who probably don't care about you, people who ain't thinking about you on a regular basis, you know what I'm saying? And who really just in their own state of misery, and that's why they bothering you negatively, right? But we have to do that as artists. We have to face the things that we fear. We have to take the risk because the challenge is where we grow. Okay. And I know this. And her reminding me of it, I was like, you're right. You're absolutely right. I'm like, what that mean I gotta do though? Like, I'm like thinking to myself, like, what is the risk? Like, what is the crazy thing? And one of the things I really, really feel like, and it's like, I don't even want to say it, but it really is like performing on stage. I used to love to act. I was in plays about all elementary school. I was doing dance things. I was doing the thing. I used to be on the stage. And since I became an adult, I don't want to be on stage no more. Especially by myself. And when I think about it, even going back then, plays and things of that nature, those are group activities. When I was in the band, I was in a bunch of people. It was more than me just dancing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was dancing. And you weren't just looking at me. So I have big feelings about being the only person up on stage, being the only one talking and the person that everybody is looking at. You know what I'm saying? So I really got to get over that. And the only way I'm going to get over that is by getting on the stage and saying the thing. And then I go back to, well, what if the words is not put together in a way that I feel good about, right? And that means I gotta edit. That means I gotta reread my own writing and question, how could this be better? How could this change? I gotta recognize that I'm an expert, first of all. But I'm not an expert in everything. Okay, I'm an expert in my experience, but I might not be an expert in telling it in the best way for it to impact and influence and encourage and inspire other people. You know what I'm saying? Even though I think I am an expert in that, but we ain't gonna go there. I have to say the things on the mic in front of people by myself. And I gotta go back and make changes to the work. I gotta edit it. I gotta try to make it better. I gotta try to add some pizzazz and not just get it out of my head, right? I have to honor the first draft as the rough draft and make edits. Oh, it don't feel good in my body. It don't feel good in my body, but I'm not mad at it because I have been in practice. I have been doing these things not as frequently as I want to, but I've also been studying. I've been listening to other people. I've been reading other poetry, reading other people's writing. So I am in the works. I'm on the way. Okay. The next thing they talked about, oh, let me make sure I ain't got no I put on here making fear a friend. I mean, I guess that's key, right? Because the fear is the thing that we're going to have to face, and we have to recognize and realize how we can navigate with that fear by our side. Like, how can we have fear be rolling with us and not taking us out? Right? How can we make fear a friend? Like, okay, girl, I know you here and I know you be giving me anxiety and you be tearing me up, but we finna go out here and have a good time. Okay, we finna go out here and try this new thing. Relax, chill out. I got you. Stay with me, because obviously you ain't going nowhere, but we gonna get out of this all right. We is gonna survive, right? So you gotta make friends with fear. And I completely believe that. It says, if you didn't have to do it perfectly, what would you try? Um, I'm a journal about that. If I didn't have to do it perfectly, what would I try? Because I really feel like things like YouTube and like making videos and all of that graphic design, I be graphic designing for my Instagram, child. Like all of those things, I'm like, I don't know if I'm really doing this perfectly, but I'm doing it. So the more I do it, the more I learn, the more data I get. So I'm not mad at it. So I feel like I'm already doing things, but I got to think deeper around like, what else would I do? I got to think deeper about it. I got to write about it. I'm excited to write about it. I'm going to do it in my morning pages. And the last thing I wrote was meeting a challenge equals self-improvement. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember what this was about. This was basically saying that every time you meet a challenge, you give yourself more fuel to face more challenges. You show yourself and you train your body to know that you can face challenges and you can defeat them and you can be successful. You can survive. You can make it to the other side. Okay, so the more that you face your challenges, the more you self improve. And I like that. And it is true. It really is because, child, let me tell you, I did 1 hour on TikTok. I don't know why TikTok, I guess because it's the number one search engine in, the world or some shit. Maybe that's why I don't really like being on TikTok and I don't really know what's going on and what it's really supposed to be. It's a lot happening on there. And I went live for an hour straight, 5 days in a row on TikTok, baby. I faced that challenge and I am empowered. Okay. I feel like I was like, let me go make recordings of these videos. I'm gonna make some presentations and I'm gonna just go up there and put them on there because if I was able to do that in an hour, I can really cut it down to 30 minutes and put them out as master classes. Like this is easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So it really do work. Facing challenges, facing things that you fear really does add self-improvement to your life. Like it really does make you feel like you can be empowered and it empowers you to do more and to do different things, man. It's real. It's real. Julia know what she be talking about. And the last thing she talked about, child, was jealousy. And the reality that if you are jealous of someone, then you a hater. And I talked about this today, or not today, yesterday in a TikTok live when I was talking about ways to identify self-sabotage in others. When they being critical of other people, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's when they being haters, that mean they jealous. That mean that they actually are getting in the way of their own success and actually trying by talking junk about somebody else and downplaying the importance of it in their life. Like it ain't cool, like it ain't dope to be trying and to be doing something that you really want to be doing, right? Yeah, those are haters. And that jealousy is a mask for fear. The mask for the fear of doing what you want to be doing, feeling like you gonna fail or you gonna be judged for doing the thing that you want to do, right? And I also put down here, it strips us of our ability to act with courage. Ooh, that is real good because you too worried about somebody else. You so worried about somebody else, you are building up that judgment. You are doing the thing that you scared of somebody doing to you. So you are giving your body data saying that this is true. This is how it works because I'm doing it right now to somebody else. So if I do it, they're going to do it to me. Like that is real. That is so real. So if you get out of jealousy and move into courage, right? And take them risks, face them challenges, you will overcome. So we gonna see we're gonna see what this week looked like. The tasks this week aren't too bad, so I am not mad about it. Um, I'm excited to check in with y'all next week and see how I do. I actually am gonna miss the open mic that I normally go to on Monday. They doing a revolutionary open mic because it's Malcolm X's birthday. But I'm going out the country with my daddy side, and yeah, I gotta go back to North Carolina on Monday, so I'm gonna miss that open mic. But I might record some and put it out on the interwebs as a sign that I still am trying to, you know what I'm saying, say my words out loud by myself in front of people. Okay, so hold me to it. Comment if you don't see a video within the next 3 days because I need to go ahead and do it before I talk myself out of it. Or maybe I'll wait all the way until I'm supposed to be doing it next week and then go ahead and put it out before I put out my video talking about my check-in. We'll see. Stay tuned to find out. Love y'all.